Ah, man, guys, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. But I thought this fight was lame, bro. I thought it was lame, man. I guess Gilbert Burns was right. Gilbert Burns said that this fight's gonna be boring, and he said this fight was gonna be boring because he believed Usman was going to basically do what he did against Masvidal, and that is basically just do what he always does against punchers. This fight basically consisted of Kamaru Usman basically backing Jorge Masvidal against the ropes and just leaning on him, and kicking him and kneeing him, kicking his knees, uh, elbowing him, stomping his legs, and he was basically just tiring out Jorge Masvidal. The majority of the fight, I would say like 60% of the fight, it was just Jorge Masvidal leaning against the ropes and Kamaru Usman basically just leaning against him and just tiring him out. And it was working. Like, yo, did you see how tired Jorge Masvidal was in the corner? Every time he went to the corner, he was like, this is all you heard in the corner of Jorge Masvidal. Okay. Yes, sir. This dude was gassed out. Man, but you see, that's what happens when you take a fight on 6 days' notice. That's what happens when you're not training. That's what happens when you have to lose 20 pounds or 22 pounds in 6 days. That's what happens. This is why you need full training camps, right? But I can't really blame Jorge Masvidal because he took this opportunity. I mean, if he would have rejected this opportunity to fight for the welterweight championship of the world, who knows when he would have got his title shot. So he probably just looked at it like, you know what, let me get it. So kudos to Jorge Masvidal. Although he lost, he got that money. Remember, Dana White paid him a certain amount of money for this fight. So even though he lost, he still got that bag. But you got to give credit to Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman, a lot of people are comparing him to GSP, which makes sense because GSP was also a long reigning he was also a guy who went several years without losing. GSP went like 9 years without losing until he retired, in 2013. And Kamaru Usman, I think he's won 15 fights in a row. So you got to give credit to Kamaru Usman, but my God, there are times where I'm just so bored watching him fight. I have to be honest with you, all right? And no, and I'm not trying to say he's overrated. He's a good fighter. He's clearly a dominant champion. But, I'm more of a guy that likes strikers. I like watching guys fight each other toe to toe. And I should have known this was going to happen. When you got a wrestler, a really good, high caliber wrestler like Kamaru Usman fighting a guy who's considered a big puncher like Jorge Masvidal, Game Bread, Street Jesus. Of course, what is the wrestler, the high end wrestler, going to do? He's going to take you down. But there was some times where he was actually electing to fight Jorge Masvidal toe to toe. But the majority of the fight, he was just leaning against him, and he was tiring him out. So I should have realized. In my brain, I was thinking, oh, this is gonna be like the Kobe Covington fight. Kamaru Usman is gonna stand next to Jorge Masvidal, and they're gonna fight toe to toe, and it's gonna be an all-out street fight. It's gonna be a phone booth. It's gonna be a fucking street fight. I was thinking that in my head. I was thinking it was gonna be like the Kobe Covington fight, but I should have known. Kobe Covington does not hit nowhere near as Jorge Masvidal. So of course, Kamaru Usman was gonna elect to take him down and lean on him and basically do what he always does best: make it into a stinker. At the end of the day, a win is a win, and Kamaru Usman is still the undisputed welterweight champion. So congrats to him. I wonder how this fight would have turned out if Jorge Masvidal was in better shape. I still think he would have lost. Because Kamaru Usman, even if Jorge Masvidal was in shape or had a full training camp, Kamaru Usman would have still gone with the same game plan. He would have dropped. He would have had him pinned against the cage and lean on him all night. So it's probably would have been the same scenario, the same. It would have played out the same way. What do you guys think of this fight? Do you guys think it was boring? I know, the Max Holloway fights, the Jose Aldo fights, those were way more entertaining fights. But come on, it's Kamaru Usman we're talking about. Kamaru Usman is not the most entertaining fighter in the world. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'm out. Peace.